What kind of insights can you draw from looking at film of Wednesday's scrimmage?
Well, obviously we got a long way to go at this point in time. That was our first scrimmage. Very encouraged about the start that we have, really in all areas of the team, and more specifically for me, offensively with the tight ends and three backs, as well as the special teams. I like where we started from. We were able to identify some guys that we feel like may or may not be able to help us, and then this next one that we have will probably tell a few more things.
How nice is it to have a guy like Phillip there, really in a dual role for those other guys to kind of watch and kind of see how he does things?
Awesome. Phillip is an extension of me. I mean, he knows what I'm teaching. When you get to this point in your career, he's been around me for 3 years. I don't have to tell him anything, to be honest with you now, because everything that I've ever coached him on, he's retained it because he's heard it over and over and over again. So he's an extension of me. I mean, he does a lot of coaching on the field himself now because he knows exactly what I'm looking for. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
What about the young guys, Brandon Foles especially? How has he kind of adapted? I know getting to camp can be a little bit of a shock at times. So.
No, Brandon is very mature for being a true freshman. He has handled it very well. He's been I don't want to say a surprise because he's not really a surprise in my mind, but he stepped up and he's doing a nice job. He's still got a ways to go, but I'm tickled to death at the progress that he's made in such a short amount of time. He's extremely athletic. He's long. He's rangy. He's quick. I mean, he's all the things that we look for in our tight ends, and he's going to be able to help us some this year.
On kick coverage, guys like Demetrius and Emery and Craig, guys like that. I mean, what makes them so valuable on kick coverage, and how valuable is having guys like that?
Well, I'm not quite sure how much we're going to use Demetrius this year. We probably are. Coach Chiz is kind of leaning that way. Everything depends on the health of our football team, as to what we're able to do and what we're not able to do on teams. So we're in the process of developing depth. Craig will be a guy that will be on teams again. He's a little bit bigger this year and a little bit more physical. So, look, it's invaluable to have, not just those two, but, we have four or five guys. I think it's 5 guys that are returning that were actually inductees into what we call our Silent Warrior Club last year, which, those guys were elected from plays that they made last year during the season, and they got to wear a special T-shirt with a Special Forces design. And they were dubbed our captains of our special teams starting into it. So it's Craig, it's Demetrius, it's Emery Blake, it's Jonathan Evans, and it's Ontario McCaleb.
I mean, you see guys, and I remember Trooper talking about Darvin Adams, about watching him on special teams, and then you've seen Emery kind of go from special teams to. How much does that show you about a player when you see that on special teams, to see them work like that?
Well, special teams, in my opinion, is kind of an entry level position. It's something that is not as involved as offense and defense in terms of learning a number of different schemes. I mean, we have a few schemes, that we do. We keep it simple, but at the same time, if a guy is able to grasp the concepts and the techniques and the assignments and alignments that we do on special teams, then they're able to go off and do that offensively and defensively for us. So, for me, I usually see guys before, the offensive and defensive coordinators usually do. Coach Roof and we just got out of the shower. It's kind of funny. I heard him as I was walking by. He was like, hey, so-and-so, if he keeps a base, he's going to be able to help us. He's going to be fine. And coincidentally, that was the same thing I just told him in the special teams meeting today, and Coach Roof wasn't in there. He didn't even know it. So, we kind of say the same things, and we see some of the same things in the guys and their overall development, and you can just kind of tell the good players early, Doesn't mean they're going to be ultra successful offensively and defensively. It just means they're able to play in this league, and how successful they are depends on how hard they work to continue to get better.